Welcome to today's Explainer. You know, the football world has been holding its breath for this exact moment for literally years. Picture this, June 16th, 2026, the bright lights are shining down on Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, and stepping onto the pitch, Manchester City's absolute goal machine, the undisputed Champions League top scorer, and probably Norway's greatest ever player, Erling Haaland. He is finally making his highly anticipated World Cup debut, and man, did it deliver on absolutely every level imaginable. We're talking 2 goals, a masterful assist, wild drama, and honestly, one of the most hilariously unfortunate goalkeeper bloopers you will ever see on a football pitch.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty tactics and the timeline, I want to plant a question in your head. When you look back at Haaland's epic debut, what's going to stick with you more? Is it that beautifully clinical sliding poke to open his account, or the absolute chaos of a goalkeeper blooper that gifted him his second? Keep that in the back of your mind as we go, because it really captures the insane emotional roller coaster and those unbelievable comedic moments that totally defined this match.
Okay, let's dive into this context. You really can't grasp the stakes here without looking at the history books. We are not just talking about your standard group stage game. Norway was stepping onto the World Cup stage for the first time in 28 years. Think about that. Their last tournament was France '98. That's literally 2 whole years before Erling Haaland was even born. And on the flip side, you've got Iraq. They're making only their 3rd ever appearance, snapping a grueling 40-year drought since Mexico 1986.
So you put those 2 droughts together, and you get 68. 68 long, agonizing years of combined World Cup absence between these 2 nations. Generations of fans from both sides have quite literally waited their entire lives just to see their flags fly on this pitch again. It just adds this absolute historic weight to this Group I clash. The pressure was off the charts.
Act 1, the setup and the strike.
Right from the opening whistle, Norway just took control. They dictated the tempo, pressed high, and looked like a team desperate to make up for nearly 3 decades of lost time. And that dominance, it paid off beautifully right in the 29th minute. It was an absolute masterclass in team football. It started way back with goalkeeper Erling Haaland launching a really calculated long ball. Then came this slow, almost hypnotic buildup. 14 crisp passes, switching across both flanks, just totally pulling the Iraqi defense out of shape. Then, bam, the tempo shifts. David Mahler-Wolf whips this wicked, low cross into the box from the left, and waiting at the back post is Haaland. He makes this explosive, perfectly timed run, beats his markers, and delivers a clinical, sliding poke right into the far corner. 1-0 to Norway.
And that goal perfectly sums up his sheer lethal efficiency. That wasn't just a momentous debut goal, it was his staggering 55th international goal in just 51 caps for Norway. Let that sink in for a second. 55 goals, 51 caps. He literally averages more than a goal a game on the international stage. It's one of those hero shot moments that just screams generational talent.
But, as easy as it is to just call him a robot or a goal machine, we've got to remember the human side too. After the match, Haaland said, "I have been dreaming of this moment for many years. This is my first World Cup goal, and it is very special." And you could see it. You could see that pure, raw emotion in his celebration. After having to watch from the sidelines tournament after tournament, this was the ultimate payoff for years of waiting.
Moving on to Act 2, Drama and Disaster.
Now, I gotta warn you, football is famously unpredictable. Just when it seemed like it was going to be smooth sailing for Norway, they hit a massive, dramatic speed bump. The script was completely flipped. In the 39th minute, Iraq proved they weren't just there to make up the numbers. They showed unbelievable fighting spirit. Ali Jassim threaded this incredibly clever reverse pass to Amir Al-Amari, who whipped a stunning cross directly into the box. And waiting there, Ayman Hussein. He launches himself into the air and unleashes a brilliant bullet header low into the bottom corner. Nyland had absolutely zero chance. Just like that, the team that hadn't been to a World Cup in 40 years leveled to score against the European heavyweights. The crowd was stunned.
But then literally 4 minutes later, we get one of the funniest, most jaw-dropping, and honestly embarrassing moments you will ever see in a World Cup. The pure joy of Iraq's equalizer just evaporated in an instant, all thanks to the ultimate goalkeeper blunder.
Now, what's really interesting is exactly how this chaos materialized out of thin air. It started as a super routine, easy back pass to the Iraqi keeper Jalal Hassan. A totally normal situation where you'd expect the keeper to just settle it and clear. But Haaland doesn't do routine. He turns on the jets and presses instantly. Hassan panics. He tries to smash a wild clearance, but he blasts the ball directly into Haaland's charging body. And get this, the ball just bounces right off Haaland and rolls painfully straight back into the empty net. No beautiful 14-pass buildup this time, just relentless, terrifying pressure, creating a goal out of absolutely nothing to make it 2-1 right before halftime.
And here's a totally crazy fact about that. That ridiculous, lucky rebound, it actually had massive historical significance. With that one incredibly fortunate bounce, Haaland tied Kjetil Rekdal as Norway's joint all-time top scorer at the World Cup. And it literally took him just 43 minutes of his debut match to pull it off. Unreal.
Which brings us to Act 3, the crush and the aftermath.
Heading into the second half, we really see the harsh realities of tournament football set in. Now, to be fair, Iraq flat out refused to quit. They played with immense heart. They came out of the tunnel swinging, playing at this frantic, high-energy pace in pure survival mode. Hussein barely missed sending a header wide, then Hussein Ali blasted a vicious shot just over the crossbar. And at one point, Al-Hamidi found himself completely one-on-one, only to be denied by an absolute heroic last-ditch block from Christopher Ajer. They were desperately knocking on the door, fighting for their tournament lives. But eventually, Norway's ruthless efficiency was just too much. In the 76th minute, they slammed the door shut. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard, who had been orchestrating the midfield with absolute class all night, whipped in this devastatingly perfect corner kick. Meeting it was Leo Østigård, who rises up and buries a powerful header to make it 3-1. And the crazy part? Østigård came on as a substitute and had literally been on the pitch for 3.5 minutes before sealing the match. That is the very definition of an instant impact.
And then, deep into stoppage time, the 96th minute, we get a brutal reminder of just how cruel football can be. Norway is pushing forward on one last attack. Haaland goes up for a header, it pings off a defender and bounces really awkwardly toward the goal line. Ayman Hussein, yes, the exact same guy who scored that beautiful, emotional equalizer for Iraq earlier, lunges to clear it. But tragically, he deflects it straight into his own net, an own goal to cap it off at 4-1. Man, what a heartbreaking finish for a guy who left everything on the pitch. But that's just the brutal reality of the sport sometimes.
Let's wrap things up with match takeaways and group standings.
So, the crucial point is, what does this all actually mean moving forward? Let's zoom out and distill the broader implications of this dominant Norwegian victory, because the ripple effects in Group I are huge. First off, I have to highlight an incredible milestone from this game. 35 years in 279 days. That was the exact age of Norway's goalkeeper, Ørjan Nyland, on match day. With this start, he cemented his legacy as Norway's oldest ever World Cup player. A fantastic achievement that really speaks to his longevity and importance to this squad.
Now let's take a look at the Group I hierarchy. Norway secures 3 points, and crucially, a +3 goal difference, bumping them right to the top of the table. But right on their heels, the mighty France, also sitting on 3 points with a +2 goal difference. Meanwhile, Iraq and Senegal are left at the bottom, really needing to find some answers. This completely sets the stage for a massive, looming clash.
Which brings us to our final thought. With Haaland looking completely unstoppable and Norway riding high on top of the group, can they actually pull off an upset against France? It's basically going to be the final boss match of Group I, and I promise you there will be fireworks. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer of an unforgettable match. If you want to keep up with all the biggest moments of this tournament, make sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next time, where we are going to break down Lionel Messi's historic record-tying hat trick against Algeria. We will see you then.